Right, okay. Hi there. I thought I'd do a commentary of my A-bag run. Just to sort of explain some of the strats and the Pokemon I used a bit. So yeah, I am using Archon, Bagon, Castform, Jawber, Plus One Mine, and Brelow and Wingull. So I'm going to check the IVs and natures. So a couple of things I'm looking for. The main thing I'm looking for is a Bagon with a speed IV of 13 or higher. And look at that thing. That thing's a monster. Can hardly believe my eyes. The Archon is also pretty good. The rest of the mons, however, are not great. So I'm just making a note of some of the IVs. I'll probably skip a bit. Other things to check are the abilities of Shroomish and Wingull, and whether or not I'm going to need to use an ability capsule on them in the run. So in this run it was just Brelow that needed it, I think. And yeah, after that we can get started. I'm going to be picking Wally as the champion for this run because Salamence is very good into it, and you'll see why later. Hi Mum. Got Archer in slot 1, the goat. So yeah. Pretty normal movement towards first gym. I'll sort of describe things a bit as I go. And off we go. So, a few things about this team. Gym 1 is kind of hard. Out of the 4 gyms, out of the 8 gyms plus Viola, there are 4 of them at an instant reset, which are Roxanne 1, Watson 1, Tantalizer 1, and Horn Wallace 1. So about my berries here. Need cherry berries. I'm going to buy 1 Chester berry in case of Roxanne 2, because Redicantha Yawning is annoying. Ideal Gym 1 would probably be Viola 1, but obviously that's pretty rare. We get Norman 1. This is actually a good outcome. Norman 7 and 8 were like hard resets for this team unless I get a Breloom of Speed IV like 20 or 21. And also it's not free at 5 or 6 either. Norman 2 is also a hard reset. So getting Norman 1 is actually pretty beneficial. Archon can just click pluck a bunch of times. The other Norman fights are basically me using Breloom to try and deal as much damage as possible. And with Bulk Up and Poison Heal, I can usually outdamage the opponents. This Furrows are really annoying after it evolves, because it gets Shadow Ball and then Psychic for Gym 7 and 8. Which does slow down the fight a lot, because you gotta switch Breloom out, but we're not gonna have much trouble here. The Slack Off is not a threat. Unfortunately we do like 45%, so this is gonna be quite a few turns to kill with the potion. But it's alright, we're just spamming the A button at the moment. Slack Off to waste even more time. You love to see it. Here comes Ziggs again. This thing can make me miss with Sound Attack, and that is all it can do. Will I miss? Uh-oh. No, I'm fine. As Norman done. Mash the dialogue. I don't care about you, Dad. Finished him on the time of 2:39. That's not amazingly fast. Other gyms will give me time under 2 minutes, but like that is perfectly good enough if it means I don't have to fight Norman later on. Oh, bit of drunk driving here. And off to Juford we go. So like I said before, Norman 2 is the only Gym 2 I would hard reset on. All the others I'm perfectly fine. Ideal would probably be Juan Wallace 2, but these plus or minus twins are actually pretty weak. Their IVs are pretty bad, which means that there's a good chance I won't KO them. KO Dondozo with Oranberry. So that's something to be aware of. I get Watson too. This is not great, but not awful either. Ideally I want Watson 5 to 8 because Extra Gel completely destroys him. So I'm kind of forced to use Drillbur, which is not terrible. Because you get access to Dig for Gym 2, which makes this playable. Unfortunately, this Drillbur's IVs are the worst I've ever seen. I have a minus attack nature and 3 attack IV, and also 4 speed IV. Well, that might be a problem, as you're going to see in a second. Quick attack on Wingull, very necessary. Drillbur with Dig. This Cherry Berry is helpful for 2 things. One, static can proc on the Electrike if it comes in early. Or else I can get stun spored by the Voltorb. Now this thing is sturdy, so we're going to actually Rapid Spin to raise our speed. This is going to let us outspeed Voltorb, which is really nice. Even a 0 speed IV Drillbur will outspeed Voltorb too. I'm going to sit through this D animation quite a few times. Hence why it's quite a bit faster in the later gyms, because you get access to Earthquake, which eats Watson 5 to 8 alive. Here comes Voltorb. It has Bullet Seed, so it can actually kill Drillbur with 4 hits, but I'm pretty sure the AI only uses 3 hits to calculate whether it's going to kill or not. Now that is not good damage. Normally, with a decent attack IV on Drillbur, I can feel confident that Dig into Rapid Spin is going to kill, and because I outspeed, it's not a problem. But in this situation, I thought that HP was high enough that it wasn't going to potion, which meant I needed to Dig this turn. So now I'm in a pretty bad spot because I'm paralyzed. So my odds of winning just went down quite dramatically. Thankfully this thing is going to spam charge, because it loves to spam status moves if it's sincere kill. So we go digging, and basically I am praying I don't get paralyzed. Getting hit by 2 stun spores is just over 50%, so it's a little bit annoying I didn't dodge both. But now I have to fight the static. Electrike's also going to outspeed Drillbur now that she's paralyzed. It's pretty bad, and this can flinch. If it does flinch, gonna need to get a dig off. Bam. Very lucky to have this Sonic Miss on top of all the paralysis breakthroughs. I think that was a speed tie. Interesting. Anyway, that was a big mistake for me, not knowing that it would the Voltorb would get potioned. So I get bailed out by some good luck, which is quite nice. Time here is 6:49. This is pretty slow. Normally I'm under 6 minutes. If I'm fast, I'm under 5 minutes. But we got 2 annoying early gyms out of the way. Watson's starting 9 kilo late, but yeah. Anyway, not super quick pace right this minute. So there's definitely more times over if I want to do this again. Right, before Gym 3, we want to get Bullet Seed to use on Breadham, because Shroomish is going to evolve before next gym, and I want to poison it. I got the Cirrus Mint for either Drillbur or Castform because they have bad natures, but Drillbur's kind of done his job for the moment, so I should be using this on Castform. I would never forget to use it before Gym 3, right? Alright guys. Some more drunk driving. Gym 3, we don't really mind what we see at this point. Guess Viola is always good at this point. Actually, Viola 3 is kind of annoying. Tantalizer 3 is probably the worst outcome here. Tantalizer 1 is a reset. 7 and 8 are interesting. I actually found a cool strat involving Rock 2 Archeops plus Cast Form to kind of do most of this fight for 7 and 8. 4 and 5 are pretty easy because Cast Form gets Weather Ball, which is able to wipe out Solrock and Boltoy. But because it's this Gym 3, Cast Form doesn't have Weather Ball yet, which is kind of an issue. So I'm forced to take some awkward lines because I can't confidently go for kills. And that Serious Mint is going to stay in my inventory, even though Cast Form would quite like it. I'm kind of checking my notes to see which is the better of Blaster and Minor, because it might actually matter. How does it do anything damage? So this is going to be a bit of an awkward fight. I'll try to explain my line as best as I can. Basically, this Cast Form is not killing anything. I can take out this Natu instantly with Electro Ball, which is what I want. But I've kind of got to take into account the damage I'm taking on either Mon. Boltoy can target either Cast Form or Plusle. And it can also Psywave or Side Beam, sorry. That can confuse, I think. Or can Rapid Spin to raise its speed, which is more annoying, because I can't speed control with Plusle's Thunder Wave. And here comes Solrock. This thing's about to get targeted. I want to slow it down. Good thing about Plus and Min is that Thunder Wave gives good speed control for Cast Form, because both Solrock, Lunatone, and Cast Form are base 70 speed, which means that without a good speed nature, Cast Form's going to get outsped, if not for T-Wave. I actually choose to Encore Solrock into Incinerate here, because it's not doing very much at all in the rain. If I were more confident about Cast Form's special attack, I would have switched out mine into Wingull here. Which is slightly more risky, but it would have saved me a decent time. So, the point of doing all this is basically to get Cast Form and Wingull to KO both Solrock and Boltoy on the same turn, so that Lunatone switches in alone. Lunatone is much more threatening, I think, at this stage, at least in my team, compared to Solrock, because it does meaningful damage. It can kill Wingull from full, and does meaningful damage to most of my mons. And it's also tanky, because a lot of my early game mons are special attackers, and Lunatone is higher special defense. That was scary. Oranberry bails me out a bit there. Down goes the rock. And thus ends my reign. Basically, the best way I can comfortably deal with Lunatone, I think, is switching in Plusle and Menon. I switch the lower of the HPs into the one that's not Wingull, because Wingull is about to get targeted by Lunatone's killer AI. And now I can just T-Wave Electro Bomb. Actually, I thought Plusle was going to be faster, but actually mine is a bit faster. Which is annoying because it means I don't get the extra damage from being even faster after T-Wave. But now I'm just spamming Electro Ball until I win, which might take a few turns. Big career Manon, that's what we keep you around for. Right, Game 3 done. Things haven't gone awfully so far, but it's really not that fast for the team. 12:37 is not great. I kind of want a 10-minute time at this point. That's just time save for next run. Oof, drunk driving at its finest. I think for most of the gym style, it doesn't really matter what I get. Holland Wallace 4 is probably beneficial to me. I'm much more comfortable with it now than I would be 5 through 8, because sometimes those things can get a bit funky. I take the ice super slow. I've fallen in the pit more times than I care to admit. So basically, this is going to be Minimum and Plus or Masterclass, hopefully. Because both of their special attack stats are so bad, I am at risk of Dondozo not dying. But we will get to that when we get to that. Surely I won't forget to teach Brelin Bullet Seed. Just going through my moves there. I really don't need to teach some of these moves. It's a bit of a waste of time. I don't normally take Charm or Fake Tears on Plus or Manon, but I took Fake Tears this time just in case. I had a feeling things might go wrong this fight. I did tell myself I need to use Bullet Seed when I use the ability capsule, but I immediately forgot afterwards. So that was a good idea. I think Plus and Manon are so good into 8-box runs just because of how well they deal with One Wallace. After Gym 1, mind you, because they only get what are the abilities called? Plus and minus. They only work on special attacks, so you don't get Electric Ball until Gym 2. This Whelmo should be dying to just one attack, but because these guys are so weak, they'll actually live one Electric Ball. So I'm now pretty nervous that Dondozo is not going to die. One thing I do have to my benefit is that Manon is the faster of the two, and it's also the weaker of the two. So it means it's more likely not to knock it over half, and thus Dondozo does not get the Orange Berry. Or the Citrus, I think it has at this point. So I'm actually able to kill it, and that is huge, because now this fight is going just how I want it. Tazagiri comes in. I consider letting Plus or die, and I realise that's probably a silly idea. So I go to T-Wave and in comes Brelin. Now, it doesn't actually matter that I forgot to teach Bullet Seed, because this Barbo is just going to go boom to no matter what grass move I pick, even Mega Drain. Full power is nice. Less chance of Water Pulse confusion. Bye bye Barboach. Now to kill the fish as quickly as possible. Bit slow on the menuing there, but I think Mark Punishment was a faster animation. Gym Fort done. Okay, so not the fastest first half. I'm out at 16:32, but most of the danger is kind of out of the way now. This is going to be my second Sladeport trip of the run. I'm going to buy Earthquake and Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt just because Jolteon needs a special attacking move that is not Thundershock. And I normally buy Earthquake for Excadrill, so it gets it 2 gyms earlier. But I'm actually not going to need it this run because I've already beaten Watson. So I'm actually going to hold this Earthquake TM for Salamence in the E4, just so I don't have to go to the TM shop again. Out of a Oracle Archon. Give me that Archeops. Well, that, we're off to Gym 5. So we get Winona 5. I've not got much experience fighting Winonas 5 to 8, so I'm a little bit concerned here. I don't know the minimum of things I need to beat this gym. I do have Plus and Meaning as electric types. I've got about to have Jolteon, which is strong in his Thunderbolt, and I can get Ice form, Cast form. I also got Archeops. So I'm kind of thinking about what I want to do here. I don't have a super clean line. But I decide that I'm going to lead Archeops, because Winona leads with Swablu, which just dies from acrobatics. And that's going to bait in Pelipper, which I can kill early on, and I figure that's going to be beneficial for me. There's the acrobatics. Don't need Wander on. You see me definitely thinking a bit here, because I'm unfamiliar with this. It's definitely some time save menuing here. Might be some more time save. As I try to figure out how to switch class forms form. Nope, it's not that one. Try again. Got there in the end. Don't forget Thunderbolt and Jolteon, that's good. So, Acrobatics can take this thing out, and Pelipper is going to come in because it should be anything that sees kill on Archeops. Or at the very least, it's going to do the most damage with super effective Water Pulse. So I'm going to bring in Plusle here over Jolteon, because they can both kill, but Plusle is a lot less valuable, so I don't mind stacking it if I need to later on with this damage from switching into Water Pulse. Thankfully there's no confusion. I can safely Electro Ball for the kill. Now, I thought this would bring in Tropius because Electro Ball is not super effective, but Swellow actually comes out, which I wasn't expecting. So I'm just going to continue to click Electro Ball. It does half. I consider letting Plusle die again, but then I figure I don't need to, actually. In hindsight, I probably should have switched Jolteon the first time, because I really didn't gain anything from letting Plusle hit this for 50. Now that crit is kind of annoying. It means I'm low on HP, and I also don't know what move Tropius is going to click. Because I reckon both Body Slam and Leaf Tornado can kill me, so I don't know what move it's clicking here. And I don't want to switch Archeops in to like a crit Leaf Tornado. That puts me in defeatist range, because I'm pretty sure I won't kill Tropius then. And also if I were to get paralyzed, that would be also terrible for Archeops. Even though Archeops would be fast in Castle here, because it skips all the weather animation and the transform animation, but this can also safely take it out. So again, not the fastest Gym 5. I don't have enough experience with it to know what the fastest line there is with my team. But regardless, we have a decently quick last 3 gyms, potentially. 2140, really not that fast, considering the strength of my mons, but you just gotta go. I love blue Flygon so much. These look pretty. So I'm going to skip all the citrus berries. I don't need them. I am planning on cutting out as many of the optional stuff as much as possible. So no move reminder, few slate port trips, and no more trips to the berry shop. Get in the door, mate. Thank you. So Flowery 5, Flowery 6 even, is probably beneficial overall because it means I can't get Archie instead of Flowery 8, and I do not know I do not know Archie lines. So I'm teaching Surf to Pelipper here because Cast Form Weather Ball won't kill Ninetales, but Pelipper's Surf will. Yeah, I had a pretty clear idea of what the line was in my head here, so this felt nice to play. I teach Contra to Archeops. I've gotten into the habit of doing that, just because in case of Titanizer Seldonate, but I don't actually need to in this race. That was a time loss. Thankfully I didn't forget to change Cast Form's weather form, because, I don't know, I always forget to do that kind of thing. Right, so this Marowak is getting blown up, as are all of Flannery's mons. This thing isn't, she is not threading at all when you've got 2 Drizzle mons in your team. Not even scared of Curse Body, because I'm switching out. Ninetales is always coming in here to, it's either to get rid of the weather with Drought, or it's because it's the only thing that outspeeds. Like, the rest of Flannery's team is super slow, which is very nice. It also has an added bonus of that Ninetales is going to click over here instead of like Will-O-Wisp, which would lose me time with all the burn turns. So that is doing very little. I can now safely mash Surf and win the fight. So, about this point in the run, I should be thinking about all the things left I need to do. The 2 remaining gyms are Brawly, which is a complete non-threat. Archeops completely dominates him. Macrobatics will kill everyone, and Archeops outspeeds everyone. And then apart from that, it is Roxanne and Viola. Most of these guys are not super well. Viola's pretty nice throughout most of them. Viola 3 can be a bit annoying. Volbeat is annoying early on, and then Cleavor is annoying, and Masquerain with Intimidate and Automove is annoying later. But I would much rather see Viola than Roxanne. Roxanne can be fast, but I'm basically forced to switch in and out versus Arcanine, which can be slow, because I want to be using Breloom to kill. Here we see some great movement. RNG manipulation to get Viola, as you can see. At this point I realise I do not need Cast Form nor Plus on my inventory any longer, so I'm not going to bother rare canding them when I want my E4 team to have Breloom and a Vagon on it. Now this was an untested line for Viola 7, but I was pretty confident that it was going to work, and thankfully it did. Basically Archeops can kill the Masquerain leading, even through Intimidate, and after that Cleavor is going to come in seeing super effective Rock Slide. So it gives me a good chance to switch out and reset the Intimidate. Yeah, we are ready to go. Archeops is not intimidated by this thing. It's gonna blow it straight up with aggro. Yeah, these last two gems are definitely a bit of an Archeops masterclass. Cleaver comes in, seeing Rock Slide, potential kill? Question mark. But Exegel does not care. Now, this Exegel hurt me before by having such a weak attack IV, and it's coming back to haunt me actually because this Earthquake is just doing 50%, which means this next one is definitely at risk of not killing. So I'm pretty nervous watching the HP go down, and oh, it stops right before. So that means I'm wasting time on this Hyper Potion. So Earthquake again, and then Earthquake again after that. Thankfully I crit this one, so only 2 Earthquakes more needed, not instead of 3. But I am kind of bleeding a bit of time. In comes Ninjask. It sees kill with Dig, which gives me a completely free turn to switch into Archeops and kill it after it rises. Ninjask can actually be quite annoying to pin down with like fast lines because it's so fast, even faster than like my quick mons, like Plus or Min and Archeops. But thankfully this line just works out so nicely, and I can now click Acrobatics very happily. Volbeat comes in, this little demon for Viola 2, 3 and 4. We do not go, we have Acrobatics. .28.41. Really not that quick, all things considered. But I do have a completely free line versus Gym 8, so I will save a bit of time there. If we don't get some more drunk movement inside of Darkness. I don't even need to heal my Pokemon, because Acrobatics is enough PP left, but I'm going to do it anyway, just for safety. Don't forget Seed Bomb, because I might need that if I roll Brandon in the E4, because Breloom is pretty much the only guy I have to handily deal with him. Show me what you're made of. I'm made of Acrobatics, and my name is Archeops. Right, so this fight is not going to be that interesting. I am just clicking Acrobatics 5 times, and there's nothing Wally can do. Archon completely invalidates Brawly 1, 2, and then 5 to 8. 3 and 4 are a bit more complicated. With a very high attack IV and a positive nature, Archon can kill Hariyama 4 with Acrobatics. But otherwise, you kind of need to pre-damage it, which can be a little bit awkward. And Brawly 3, God knows what you do for that, because you don't have Acrobatics yet, and Pluck is probably doing like 60%, probably like 55 even. So you've got to find a way to pre-damage Hariyama effectively without it running over your team. One interesting thing is that Machoke in versus Brawly 4 has a Bullet Punch and I think it's Vital Throw. So I think the AI prefers Vital Throw over Bullet Punch for some reason, even though Bullet Punch is super effective. I think if you have a really low defense Archon, then it can go for Bullet Punch and put you in defeatist range, and that would ruin the fight. But I haven't actually been in that scenario yet. Anyway, E4 prep. All I am doing is setting up my soon-to-be Salamence and giving this thing Hurricane. There's not a lot else to do. I'm going to make this Salamence as powerful as I can, and it is going to tear a Salamence-sized hole through the front doors of the E4. The set I'm going to start with is Flamethrower, Fly, Facade, Dragon Claw. Hopefully it learns these moves to level up. Obviously you have a Fly HM, but it means you don't have to buy a Flamethrower TM. The Flamethrower TM is basically only for the Glacier fight, as it's the only thing that can KO Sand Slash. But yeah. So I'm buying the patch, I'm buying the mint for Bagon as well, because this thing's IVs are insane, but it is a minus attack nature, and I don't want that. I spent 10 years falling down to Salamence site. It's all the way down there. Last thing I need to do is poison Salamence. We get the insane Mega Salamence Facade nukes. And then we are headed straight to E4. So really, this was not a fast start time. It was like, what, above 30 minutes for the Energy Mate? I'd done some of the leveling beforehand, which saved me a bit of time here. But really, I'm not too hopeful for this run space at the minute. But we'll see how the E4 goes. Salamence in lead. Let's go. Who do we get? It is Spencer. This thing's gonna lead with Shift 3. I do not care. I'm Flick and Fly. I'm dodging his swagger. I'm gonna click Fly a few times through the E4. So there is a risk of me missing, but it's sort of... I think it's like 85% to hit all my flies, which I'm kind of happy to click. I think that's risk I'm willing to take, even this late in the run. Moxie Boost giving me +1, that's going to really help me speed up a lot of these fights. Unfortunately, Sceptiles comes in second. If it comes in third or later, I'm saving a lot of time because it means I don't have to... I can delay the Mega one turn and I don't go through the D-Mega animation before the end of the fight. But because Sceptile is base 120 speed and Salamence is only base 100, I have to Mega Evolve to Earth speed. And now I am clicking Facade and the grass types are dying. Here comes Ludi. Goodbye. Now, I do take a fair bit of poison damage each turn, but this thing is not going to die, even to Mark Punch plus poison damage. So as long as I hit this fly, we are Gucci. Yeah, I would have died to the next tick of poison. Alright, E4 1 down. That was reasonably quick. I gotta keep moving. So here I kind of want to see Lucy. Lucy is marginally faster, but Phoebe is not bad. But I need to teach Earthquake now. Earthquake now in case Typhlosion comes in last and I have no Mega left. I can't kill it with Dragon Claw. And Facade is obviously a normal type move as base elements. So I need Earthquake. I'm going to lead Jolteon here. The idea here is to bring the first one down to an HP value where Salamence can kill in one hit and get the Moxie Boost and start sweeping. That's kind of the idea behind all the fights. So I actually T-Bolt here on Confuse Ray, just so Salamence doesn't get confused, and I switch out. Unfortunately, I get the 1 in 40 Paralyze into full para, which would normally be a great luck, but this is actually what I did not want. It was the one outcome I didn't want. I guess crit also counts. Thankfully I don't get paralyzed 2 times in a row, so I can safely get Jolteon confused, which means Dusclops is not going to click it again. Even better, the fact it's going to click Earthquake, seeing it on super effective on Jolteon, and Salamence is immune, takes no damage. So here we go, Dragon Claw, Dusclops is dead, Salamence is at +1, I'm sitting comfy in my chair. This Dusknoir is very bulky, but Salamence does not care. You're getting blown up by +1 Facade. Goodbye. Bonnet comes out. Here I actually make a very big mistake. I click Dragon Claw. I was thinking that, oh, I need to keep... This thing is Cursed Body, so if it disables Facade, then I won't be able to kill whoever comes in next. That's actually wrong. If I get Dragon Claw disabled, and the last one is Sableye, then I can't kill it in one hit, because Earthquake's not going to kill, and Facade is a normal type move again. So actually, fortunately, don't get punished, even though Sableye is the last one in. So that was like a 1 in 6 event, but I do dodge it. Dragon Claw, a +1 is killing this thing. Goodbye, Phoebe. Right, next is a Glacier or Tucker. Tucker is almost definitely preferred, and I do pull him, which is nice. There is more risk to Glacier, because depending on if the last one is Walrein, I'm in a bit of a pickle. And also, if Ninetales comes in before Frostlass, I have to deal with Salamence potentially missing Frostlass and getting blown up by Blizzard. Anyway, I'm doing the same lead with Jojon here. Same idea, damage Wigglytuff enough to the point where Salamence is going to kill and get Moxie. The really good thing here is that Wigglytuff is always going to use Light Screen after being hit by a special move. So even if Sing misses, it's not going to Sing again. It wouldn't matter because Salamence is poisoned and that blocks Sing, but just nice to know. So I'm now at +1. The best switch in here would be Mawile to Intimidate. I can still kill that with EQ and I get the +1, and I can keep all 3 Megaturns, the last 2 ones. Unfortunately, Togekiss comes out. It's either always Togekiss or Mawile. I don't know why in this case, but it just is. But Facade is blowing this thing up. Mawile is going to come in next, drop me down to +0, but it does not matter. Mega Facade is going to blow up Gardevoir or Rapidash Galar in the back no matter what. Bye bye Mawile. I think Flamethrower also kills. Gardevoir comes out. Bye bye Gardevoir. Now, Salamence is going to lose its Mega here. And Rapidash is going to outspeed and see a kill, so I do have to switch it. But it is not an issue, because Excadrill, even with its terrible attack, can clean this thing out. I do need a Hone Claws to guarantee the Earthquake kill. Normally I'd Rapid Spin and then Earthquake, but I did not trust this Excadrill to get that kill. So here we are. Right, first 3 members of the E4 down, and I'm very happy with this E4 so far. But I am not going to be happy with how this next fight goes. I'll say that much. Between Drake and Brandon, I think Brandon is safer, but how I played this Drake fight is probably faster on average. I do need to reteach Fly Salamence just to clear out the Executor in front. Yeah. Right, another chance at Fly Miss, which would be devastating. Fortunately, it does in fact hit. Now, Salamence is always going to come out second here, just to intimidate my Salamence. And because I think it's the only thing that guaranteed survives a Dragon Claw from base Salamence. Actually not at +1, but it will after Intimidate. Now, I thought that because this Bagon has this Salamence has such a high attack IV at 28, that this kill becomes a lot more likely with Mega +0 Facade into Salamence. I was wrong, this is only about 75% to kill, and those are not odds I'd want to run. Normally at 15 IV it's a 50% to kill, and I'm not actually comfortable anymore with taking such a big risk this late in the run. So if I were to redo this fight, I would find a slower but more a safer line, I think. The benefit of this line is it is really fast when I get to blow everything up. But I'm actually about to make another big mistake. I was so focused on hoping that Flygon came out last, because base elements can outspeed and kill, that I wasn't thinking about Dragalge coming in last. Now, I have not played this fight enough in the current patch, where Ultrio got replaced by Dragalge, so I'm not sure if Dragonclaw will kill. It will. I should have completely stayed in there, because I had the potential to lose lots of time if Excadrill did not dodge that Dragon Tail. Because that would have shifted my mons again, and I'm suddenly bleeding lots of time that I did not do for no reason. But anyway, by some pure luck, Excadrill getting very lucky over the course of this run, I am able to survive. So now, it's all up to Wally, and thankfully this team has a usually pretty consistent Wally fight. I'm going to lead Pelipper, because its job is not done yet. Its job is to die this fight, basically. But it's going to take Roserade and Magnezone's sturdy down with it. I can actually use Archeops for the same role. I'm going to use Pelipper here, but I think that's going to be saved for a future line. Basically, the goal is to kill Roserade with Pelipper. And now, Wally is looking at this, thinking about this, and he's always going to send in Magnezone because it's the only thing that sees a kill with the 4x super effective discharge, which is really good for me. I want Magnezone to come in as soon as possible, so I can break its 30 as soon as possible, so I can get to sweeping with Salamence as soon as possible. And you're going to see, all the way from Gym 2, we saved Quick Attack on Pelipper, which means no matter how slow this Pelipper is, it can always break Magnezone sturdy. It also dies nice and fast, so I can get Salamence in ASAP. Now this Salamence is primed and charged and ready to wreak some havoc, because Earthquake is always killing Magnezone here, and I'm getting the +1 from Moxie. Now after Magnezone there's two possible switch-ins, both seeing super effective moves in Garchomp and Azumarill. I really want to see Garchomp because it means I can kill it with base Salamence. Because this Salamence is so fast at 31 speed IV, it still outspeeds this Garchomp with the level difference. It needs 28. Unfortunately we do see Azumarill, so I'm forced to Mega Facade here to guarantee the kill. Which is fine, but it means the fight is not as fast as it could have been. Bye bye Azumarill. Basically the reason the reason why Bagon is the main reset point at the start of the game is because I really want a Salamence that can outrun Mega Gallade, and I need a 12 speed IV to be able to do that. Because otherwise I sort of end up taking more risks on Salamence being at low HP, especially after Talonflame Brave Bird. Because that thing is almost always going to outspeed. Garchomp comes in now. That's probably better for me. If Salamence is dead, my team struggles a lot more to take care of Garchomp. I have to like charm it with Jolteon and then kill in multiple hits with Archeops. But now it's just me and Wally's Gallade. So I'm going to let Salamence die. I actually make another mistake after this. You'll see in a second. Archeops can easily kill Gallade, but because its Mega Gallade is faster, I'm forced to go into Jolteon first. Now I have a choice of Charm and Thunder Wave. Actually, I think I have Thunder Wave in this run, but I should have Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave would be faster because it means Jolteon would die this turn and Archeops can kill next turn. Even with a 10% miss chance, I can still play around that and the average time save is faster. Whereas going for Charm means Jolteon lives an extra turn and there's more move animations and Archeops has to kill a turn after. But now all that's left to do is for Archeops to bring us home. The run started with him, the run's going to end with him. Should have clicked Pluck actually. It's faster move animation. Oh well. Wally's dead, and we have completed the run. Now I am frantically mashing through the dialogue to see what my time is. I really thought it was going to be like a 48-minute time. I've been grinding for like a 45 or below. This team can pretty easily get a 42 or 43 with a better gym order, I think. Even if it's not perfect, it's still better. But anyway, with the sort of official 8-bag being made a thing now, I might be playing that instead of improving this time. Regardless, this team served me well, and they are all top chaps. There we are, the Hall of Fame. The final time is... bang! 45-54. Salomond's the MVP, as always, taking 22 KOs in 5 fights. That is what you love to see. That's the GOAT right there. Anyway, pretty happy with this time. Obviously there's a lot of room to be improved, both in terms of gym order and the mistakes I made throughout the run. Boston 2 notably, bad prep for Winona 5. Yeah, lots of things to be improved. But anyway, pretty happy with this. Gonna give my attention to the official 8-bag for now. And yeah, thanks for watching.